Hi, welcome to Life on the Rock. I'm Doug Barry, along with Father Anthony. Father Mark, the Rock House compadre, is not with us tonight. He's on a recon mission in Spain, and we'll be going to him in a little bit. He's reconning the World Youth Day coming up.
Yes.
Good to have you here, Father.
Thank you so much. It's good to be with you again, Doug.
Yeah, it's exciting. We got a lot going on tonight. We got a couple interviews we're going to be going to here in the first segment, and we've got some great guests tonight. The Survivors are here. No, it's not that old band from the 80s. It's actually a group of pro-life activists, young pro-life activists, and you're really going to get a kick and enjoy their mission and their passion. So stay tuned for that. But I know we've got Father Mark on the phone right now in Madrid, Spain. We're going to go to an interview with Father. Before we do, we're going to check out a clip of a video that he took and just sent over to us here at the network. Take a look at this.
Hi, we're at Cuatro Vientos. This is an old airfield here in Madrid, Spain, near the center of town. It's now used by the military and for small planes. But this will be the site of the prayer vigil, the Saturday evening prayer vigil, and then the closing Mass on Sunday. This is the culmination of the whole World Youth Day experience, the whole World Youth Day week. And the Holy Father will have Mass on an altar just over my right shoulder here. And this whole airfield will just be filled with hundreds of thousands of young people. They'll have it sectioned off in an orderly way, but it'll be just a mass of humanity. And so be sure to watch it on EWTN's coverage this summer, August 11th, World Youth Day in Spain.
Father Mark, are you there with us? Can we talk with you on the phone now, my friend?
Yes, how you doing, Doug?
Good. How are you? Good. We got Father Anthony.
Doing well.
Yeah. Well, quite a video we got there, Father. He had his hat on again there.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you look good with the hat, Father.
Thank you. It took a lot of computer power to upload that and send it back for something so short. But we're here for a conference in preparation for World Youth Day. A lot of organizers and some people from the press are here, just outside of Madrid, in a place called San Lorenzo de El Escorial. It was a summer residence for, I think it was Philip II built it. Now it's the beautiful basilica there, an Augustinian monastery, and we're actually next to it at Maria University, and so they're going to take us around in buses to different venues, and like today we went to that airport there in Cuatro Vientos, and it was someday. We had Mass. We didn't go to the cathedral. Originally we were supposed to go to the cathedral, but we went to St. Isidore and Mary de la Cabeza, his wife. They're the patrons of Madrid, a beautiful church, and the Cardinal, I just forgot his name, Rocco had the Mass, and it's quite an event. A lot of young volunteers and a lot of priests, and good spirit here.
A nice little recon mission I know you're on, getting ready for World Youth Day. And the hat looks good again. I know you got that from Australia. I heard you met the mayor.
Oh, that's right, too. Yeah, after the Mass, we went down to City Hall, which is this building like 400 years old. And the mayor, and this is, there's a couple hundred of us, 250 maybe. And they had a little welcoming welcoming ceremony. Of course, the Cardinal was there and the mayor of Madrid, and he was very positive, and he was really hopeful for the young people of the city and really, all of Europe. And a lot of people from the United States are signing up. So he was very positive about the event, and I was impressed. And in fact, in City Hall, they had a monstrance and also some other relics and things. I was really surprised. It wasn't your average City Hall, you think of in America. Now, they have built a newer, modern one, but they still do some of their meetings and conferences there.
Right. Now, did you receive a key to the city?
No, I'm still waiting for that. It is a beautiful place, though. We're just outside of the city and these foothills. I think we're about, I think they said about 3,000 feet high, and beautiful, brilliant blue sky. But I got to tell you, one of my favorite things is the best olive oil I've ever had in my life, and the best oranges. They have incredible oranges. I don't know if they're Valencia oranges or what, but the food's been great, and that's always a big plus for me.
Well, it's a nice thing to throw in there on air here, so the people will be excited to sign up to come to Spain and check out. Oh yeah, we're on air. Yeah, so that way people could be excited to come check out World Youth Day, so they can get a taste of the olive oil and the oranges over there. So, well, Father, keep up the good work over there. It's a great. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What's that?
Well, I was going to say, great to have you on, your little recon mission and bringing that information back to us here. We're gonna cut you loose here now to get back to your gallivanting around Spain over there, and we'll see you next week. All right?
Okay.
God bless you, Father.
You too, Father. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Father Mark is over in Spain meeting the mayor and all other sort of dignitaries, wearing the nice hat, not getting a key to the city, of course.
I heard that you're thinking of wearing a bullfighter's uniform for the coverage of World Youth Day. Is that true?
As long as I can get the whole headgear and everything that goes with it, and stand out in the street and risk my life. But right now we have another interview lined up, Father Anthony, and it is Eva Montaigne out in California. We're going to be getting ready for the Walk for Life, which is next weekend after. Father Mark and I will be out there with EWTN again. Eva, are you on the phone with us now?
Yes, I am here.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, except for a little bit on the busy side. How are you?
Good. Busy. Why would you be busy? With something coming up next week? Is that what it is? Or?
Yeah, there's a little bit of an event that's coming up, and then we're scrambling to make that happen.
Well, give us a little rundown. How are things looking, and what are you hoping for? What are the expectations?
And everything's looking great. We're very fortunate and blessed. We're going to have Abby Johnson back, and as you probably know, her book Unplanned was just published this week, where she's exposing Planned Parenthood and all their, you know how they are. But anyway, so she's going to be one of our speakers yet again, and she'll be talking about that. And we have, for the first time, we're going to have the abortion from the male perspective. We're going to have a husband and wife team who they had an abortion when they were first married, and then they had a conversion, and it'll be really powerful to hear his side and his involvement and how it has affected him. So we're looking very much forward to the testimonials this year.
Right. Last year, what were our numbers last year out there? We were over 30,000, is that correct?
Well, that's it's very hard to count a crowd that size, but we're saying between 30, 35. Some of our opponent, the opposite sides, Planned Parenthood side, I heard somebody said that they thought we had over 40, but I think we're safe at 35.
Right. Well, I think the great thing about it is it's another example of how people are responding, and year after year the numbers grow as the information, as the truth gets out. More people respond and come to these events, wouldn't you say?
Oh, definitely. It's absolutely amazes us how everybody that comes, they get so fired up, they go back home, and then they bring a bunch of people with them next year. So it's just growing without really us having to do anything. Everybody's so enthused, they go back home and spread the word.
Well, before we let you go, we just got another minute or two here. Tell us anything in particular you'd like to say to the people who are hearing or watching right now to encourage them if they can come, or what they can do if they can't make it there. What would you like to say to them?
Well, I would really encourage people to get involved, even if it's in their local communities, or go to the March for Life, or come here if they're in the West Coast. I mean, we're mobilizing people. We're trying to get the word out. We have 10 bishops coming to join us for this walk from around California, and it just goes to show you that we're growing all, not just in San Francisco Bay Area, but we're becoming a real West Coast event. So we encourage people to just get involved, do something in your community.
Well, and I know for some people who might think that that's a little ways away if they're out of state, if they're not in California, but last year, what are some of the other states you had people coming from?
Well, we had actually quite a group from Canada, and then we've had people from Florida. We've actually had people from Massachusetts. We've had Kentucky. We have many people have come. The buses load come from Nevada and Wyoming. So it's definitely becoming a West Coast event.
All right, that's great. That's fantastic. Well, Eva, we're looking forward to seeing you out there. Father Mark and I will be there, and the rest of the EWTN crew. Just same as always. Got to get that message out. Got to preach it from the rooftop. So. Great job.
Amen. We'll see you next week.
All right. Great job. God bless. Thanks, Eva.
God bless. Bye.
Well, there you go. I mean, she puts it very well, saying that, it just grows year after year.
Yeah.
People see the need, and as the truth gets out there, people's hearts, can respond to that because we're wired for the truth.
Absolutely. And our young people, I think, it's so motivated, to speak for the truth and for life. Yeah.
Right. And like tonight, our guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Survivor is here. Survivors are here, and we've got 3 young adults who have been involved in this passionate pro-life work. Praying deeply and acting with strength. And that's what we all need to be part of. So we're going to run to a break now. And when we come back, we're going to interview our guests from Survivor. So don't go away. We'll be back right after this. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Doug Barry here along with Father Anthony filling in for Father Mark. Father, you are the temporary Rockhouse compadre.
Amen.
Good to have you here. Father Mark, again, on recon mission in Spain, getting ready for World Youth Day this coming summer. And you can get to Father Mark's blog, Power and Witness, by going to EWTN.com. Again, Power and Witness by going to EWTN.com. Check it out. Father Mark's got a lot of great stuff he throws up on there. Tonight, our guests are the Survivors, or it's called Survivors.
We're Survivors of the Abortion Holocaust, and then just Survivors for short.
Okay, so there you get the whole title right there. Survivors of the Abortion Holocaust. Kristina Garza, good to have you on here. Daniel Rivera, good to have you on, buddy. And Timmerie Millington. Okay, very good. Well, thank you for being here on the show with us tonight. We'll start with you, Kristina. Tell us a little bit about, I want to go down the line a little bit about each of you personally, how old you are, kind of where you come from, and then we're going to get to what motivated you to be part of something like the Survivors. So a little bit about yourself first.
Well, I am 24. I graduated college a couple years ago, and I've been involved in the pro-life movement for maybe 4 years. And I've been with Survivors since May, but I was doing 40 Days for Life before that. And Survivors basically is just a youth pro-life organization. We're a group of activists, and our goal is to equip and activate youth to be involved in the pro-life movement.
Yeah, but you're not from Alabama. Where
no, I'm from California. I'm from Southern California, Rancho Cucamonga.
I've been to Rancho Cucamonga.
Really?
Yeah, 10, 15 years ago, a priest brought me out there for a speaking engagement out there. And I'll never forget the name, Rancho Cucamonga. You can't forget a name like that. Yeah, it stands out. It's like the little town north of Lincoln where I live called Wahoo. Wahoo, Nebraska.
It's a little more interesting than Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah, well, I figure someone's traveling across the country, they found water and said, Wahoo! Anyway, Daniel, a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm from Rancho Cucamonga also. I'm 19. I've been working with Survivors for about 5 months now. I'm on the Campus Life Tour team. We've been traveling, we've been having a lot of fun. I'm from the same church Kristina is, and I've been involved with pro-life work for about 5 months, going on 6. And it's just been it's been a blessing from God. He's really placed it on my heart to be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good for you, 19. You just out of high school then? You in college at all?
I just graduated high school last year. in spring of 2010.
All right.
So it's been really
now, were you involved in any pro-life work before, like in your high school years?
No, I wasn't. In high school, I was just kind of playing football, having fun, going to church and worshiping God and stuff.
Okay.
So now I'm doing some great pro-life work. It's been really fun.
And still going to church and worshiping God.
Yeah, of course.
Good for you, man. Good for you. Timmerie, tell us about yourself. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Lake Arrowhead, California, still in Southern California, about 45 minutes away from Rancho Cucamonga. And I've grown up in the pro-life movement. My mom has been very active for years now, and so I've been, from about 13, I really got involved from legislation and lobbying to sidewalk counseling, and I've grown up in Survivors. My family is close with the White family who founded Survivors of the Abortion Holocaust.
Right. And is it Jeff White, correct?
Jeff White, correct.
All right, okay. All right, so a little bit about Survivors, a little more in detail, the history of it. When did Survivors get started, Kristina?
Well, Survivors was actually founded out of the Operation Rescue Office.
Okay.
So the idea was kind of conceived in the 80s and early 90s when Jeff and Cheryl Conrad, they're the co-founders of Survivors, started to see that youth needed to be involved in the pro-life movement because all of the Operation Rescue participants they were all older. And so 1998, the 25th anniversary of Roe versus Wade, was when they officially founded and kicked off Survivors. And it's just been an organization of youth for youth. So it's all young people that minister to young people and minister to our culture, our society.
Now, when you use the term, they're all paused older, what do you mean by older? I mean, do Father and I resemble that?
You do. I don't know about I don't know about this side of the platform.
No, but I mean, when you talk about youth, like I joke about that, but the idea is getting at kind of what age are you targeting, like starting where? Like
so high school and college age.
Okay.
A lot of Survivors participants, like Timmerie's mom, who was with Survivors or helped in the foundation, they're involved. Jeff White isn't our age anymore, but we're
did you get that again, Father? The kind of the facial reaction, not our age. He's really old now. He's got to be in his 40s probably.
But part of it though was to bring up the next generation to be involved in the pro-life movement, and they had been doing Operation Rescue work for years now. I mean, since 1973 when Roe v. Wade was passed, I mean, sit-ins started to take place, and I mean, this is almost over 20 years later.
And I think you're right on, Timmerie, and it's so important because our culture today has for several years, I mean, a decade or more, has kind of a numbing effect on a lot of our young people. With the media, there's a real beat down and a breakdown. I mean, video games these days are much more violent, much rougher than when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we had Atari Pong. Little paddles going back and forth on a black and white screen. Remember that, Father?
Yes.
We're in that category here. But we were not dumbed down and numbed nearly as much when it came to the violent abuse of life, such as abortion, as today when you've got video games out there, everything from Grand Theft Auto to Mortal Kombat, whatever they are these days, where it is brutality beyond understanding, and it's played on a daily basis to where I can see so many younger people really reaching a point of kind of a numbness, kind of apathy, and a distance and a complacency. So I can see why something like what you're doing is so important, and having it come from younger generation to really get in there and challenge people. Like, do you find yourself in conversations ever, Daniel, with other young men?
Yes, I do all the time. Men are really apathetic because they think, well, it's not going to happen to us. We're never going to have to, bear a child, do anything like that. But as men, we have to defend our wives, our sisters, whoever, anyone. As a man, we need to stand up for them and take care of our sisters in Christ. And so it's been really tough dealing with some men because we're apathetic. We're emotionally kind of shut off. And as a man, it's good to be a witness to them, to show them that we are here for these women, that we're here to take care of them. And it's also good to show to women because I have the brotherly display for women, and I'm here. I kind of show I'm here to take care of you. We're here to love you and do anything we can for you, because we do not want you to go through the pains of abortion and be affected for it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that is so true. How men treat women and how we let you ladies know how we're going to treat you affects tremendously how a woman presents herself in society. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Men got to step up. It goes back to the old, woman tied to the train tracks, the damsel in distress, right? The bad guy with the handlebar mustaches and the stovepipe hat, the piano. And then the guy comes riding in on the white horse and saves the day. Men are supposed to be fighters.
Yes.
And we're supposed to fight for truth and honor and dignity and the true beauty in the world, and really what God embodies in a woman, that life can come through her into this world. It's a magnificent, unbelievable mystery, and you're right, we're supposed to be on that battlefield, excuse me, protecting and defending.
And even as women next to our men on the battlefield, women need men to stand up for them as they're going into the clinic, as they're making the decision whether to keep their baby, as they're going through their pregnancy, as they're raising their children. But we as activists and as missionaries, we need our men to stand by us on the battlefield. I've been to sidewalk counseling at clinics where we're for women. And, you never know what's going to happen. It's good to have men there standing up on our behalf as well.
Sure.
I've seen at clinics, even the clinic where close to my home, there's a man who was there pretty religiously, and he would call out to the woman as a father figure, and he would say, "Young lady, ma'am, young lady, please don't go in there." And the woman, without a fail, would stop in their tracks because they would hear the fatherly concern in their voice. And most of those women just don't have a strong male figure in their lives. So it was good for us as sidewalk counselors to have him there helping us, but then those women would hear his voice and the concern in his voice and be moved by that.
That's an excellent point. I remember a statistic, Father, I read a while back of that 2/3 to 3/4 of abortions would not take place if the men in the lives of these ladies stood up and said, "No, there's another way."
Yeah.
There's another way. And as a priest, I know you run across with spiritual direction to people, and all the pilgrims that come through here, you run into those cases, I'm sure, with people who deal with the struggle of where the man is at in these women's lives.
Certainly. And I think that we're blessed to hear so many men who want to be that father figure, or as, give me your name again, Daniel is saying, to be the brother to a young woman. Like you say, it invites the young woman to be who she really is, to be more alive in her feminine nature. Right. And that it's such a complementarity, that the young man knows who he is. He's not a boy, but he is. His masculine identity is brought out of him.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. The masculine identity is brought out, and he recognizes what he's for in this world, one of the things he's for. On the website, I read that the idea of survivors of the Holocaust is that your age group could have legally been put to death.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Since 1973, 1/3 of our generation has been aborted. 1 in 4, today the number is about 1 in 4 pregnancies is ended. So our generation is affected twofold. This hits me especially hard because going through high school and college, I just saw my friends, my girlfriends, and my fellow students that would just drop from being affected by abortion. You just saw it go on. Our culture, our generation is affected, one, because our friends and people our age are targeted by the abortion industry. Those are the women our age are the people that are the abortion industry wants to take their money and abort our children. And then second, our generation is being put to death. Our nieces, nephews, cousins, people that would have been our classmates, would have been our friends, those are the people that are being killed. So not only is our generation just enormously impacted by the decision of Roe versus Wade and obviously prior legal decisions, but we are still being impacted and we are still being marketed for abortion. So I think that's really what motivates.
And that is one of the darkest sides of it. Obviously with the destruction of human life and the sin of abortion to begin with. But the fact that there are marketing techniques, that it is a commodity, it is actually a business, and that is one of the things that is just so dark about the whole thing. You talk about 1 out of 3. That's the 3 of you. That's 1 of you gone.
Absolutely.
And that is a devastating thing to really consider, that we have cheapened and made life so disposable that we can just disregard one of your generation. And it doesn't even speak to the fact that there are so many more abortions that take place even through contraceptive techniques and such that aren't even able to be accounted for. So it is a tremendous battle. We're going to run to a break here, and when we come back, we're going to get into more with survivors and a little more about what they do, and then what we all can do to be much more part of the active pro-life battle that is taking place all around us every day of our lives. So don't go away. We'll be back right after this. Hi, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Doug Perry here, along with Father Anthony, filling in for the recon mission gone Father Mark. Did that make any sense?
Yes, and make perfect sense.
Thank you very much. Here we are in the Rock House, high up in the mountains, where the sun is always in the same position year-round, day after day. It's a miracle down here at the network, always. We have survivors with us here, and that doesn't mean just that you personally have survived, but in effect, you have. You have lived in a generation and grown up since 1973 in America, where abortion has been legalized. And, you know, we kind of look at abortion, we know that we are at a number in the 50 million, 50 million abortions legally that we know of since Roe v. Wade in 1973, but that's just in America. I mean, we're thinking worldwide, the unbelievable slaughter of human life that takes place. China in their one-child policy approach, not to mention other communist countries that we don't even know what's going on in some of those places. It is an unbelievable travesty that is taking place when it comes to the destruction of human life. But you talk about being really active, really getting out there and going at it to try to convert one heart, one soul at a time, even down to where you're doing sidewalk counseling, where you're individually one-to-one trying to converse with someone and communicate and build a rapport. And you mentioned, Timmerie, that you've been doing this since you were 13 or so.
Yeah, I started sidewalk counseling when I was 13.
And how old are you now, 14?
I'm 18.
You look very young, but 18. Okay,
Yeah.
So you've been doing this for a long time. What's that like? Because there's a lot of people out there that at 13, 14, 15, even through high school, they're thinking of just playing football, having fun, relaxing, doing nothing. But not like him. No, because you were a worshiper of God, and you now look at you. You're out there on the field of battle.
Yeah.
But a lot of kids, don't they, in high school and junior high, they're thinking it's kind of a me world.
Yeah.
And we're kind of encouraging our young to do that, don't we? Sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, have fun when you're young. Enjoy life when you're young. But at 13, you had to be making people think.
I know that. I remember one of the first times I went sidewalk counseling when I was 13. I remember someone looked at me and went, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 13, and she's, "You're not old enough to talk to me about this." And I said, "Well," I said, "I know quite a bit about, your child." And we just started talking about fetal development. And honestly, I think when we say yes to doing something and we're willing to learn and take that knowledge and to have sympathy for the woman, it shocks them. And I had my first save when I was 13. I was actually at one of the survivors events we have every year, Christmas caroling, and we launched as a national project last year, which is a pro-life Christmas carol. And so we literally go to abortion clinics in LA and sing Christmas carols and deliver gift baskets to the woman waiting in the abortion clinic to have their abortion. And so we'll give them the gift basket filled with the baby's first booties, first binkies, and more importantly, we're there to counsel them, and it brings such hope to these women that, wow, someone is actually willing to reach out to me. And that was one of my first times sidewalk counseling, and I just had some very incredible conversations with these women, and even as someone as young as 13, reaching out and just talking to them made a difference. And
when you're talking with them, what kind of a reaction do you get from them when you start to see the heart move, the mind begins to think differently? You're exposing lies, you're talking about truth and dignity and love. What do you see? Tone of voice change?
It varies. I mean, society has told so many lies. I mean, to a lot of these women, they've been told that it's just a blob of tissue within them, and they think it's just a blob of tissue, it's just a fetus. It's really a baby. And starting with talking to them, helping them understand that, sometimes they'll be really turned off to wanting to talk to you, and other times they're willing to talk, and at the same time they don't want to, but they are interested and they listen even when they pretend they're not. And just asking them something like, how old is your baby? How far along are you? And when you can draw the line between how far along they are and where that child is in development, they're shocked to know that child already has a heartbeat, and that baby usually has fingers and toes by if the baby's fully formed, it is there when these women are having their abortions.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, the mission of our Lord, to go after one soul, one heart at a time, even the laws are important. We need to change the laws, but we need to change the hearts, because before the laws can change, the heart of man must change. We all know that. I mean, that's just so true. You've all done sidewalk counseling, and this is something that Survivors then trains. I mean, you put on the camps, and when you're out teaching, you're helping people understand how to go about to do this.
Yes. So Survivors hosts a variety of events throughout the year. Probably our biggest are camp and campus life tours. And then we're going to have an international conference this year that covers a lot of the things during camp. It's just that we're going to have people from all over the world. Through camp, we train people as young as 14, sometimes 13 years old to sidewalk counsel. So we have anywhere from ages 14 on to people in their early 20s coming to camp and learning not only to sidewalk counsel to point out the importance of life and the definition of life to women and men walking into the clinic, but to be able to defend the pro-life position to their peers. Mm-hmm. And even if they say they get caught in a classroom situation where they're doing a project or they're in a debate or something like that, they'll be able to defend the pro-life position and know the facts to be able to point out that the child inside of the womb is alive, it is a human, and it's precious because every human life is sanctified. Right.
And the camps, the sessions, when you started, you said you've been doing this for 5 months.
Yes.
Did you go through this to begin with?
I did not go through to camp. I actually started in August when we did our training to get ready for campus life tours. And that's when everyone showed me how to sidewalk counsel and really debate, the pro-life side. And I missed camp, but I heard camp was really cool. It was really fun, and everyone had a great time going out into the streets and doing activism and helping women and even men, everyone, and saving lives and really changing people's hearts. But on campus life tours, when we go to college and high school campuses, it's really cool because we go and we hold signs and we have, conversations with people about abortions and how it affects society, how it affects people, and what's going on with it and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And it's been really cool because when you talk to someone and you're getting to them, you're really changing their hearts. I mean, it's awesome knowing that you're planting seeds in these people, and when you're sharing that information, you can share that information with more people, and it just spreads like fire. And before you know it, everyone's gonna be pro-life and all that.
So what's that like when you're working with someone at a training session of some sort, and they're on board, they want to do this, they're ready to go, and as you're starting to unpack this to them and show them how, give them the tools, reveal the facts, the statistics, the whole 9 yards, deeper understanding of the development of a human being and such, what do you see in them?
Well, these youth are on fire to learn. I have to start off with saying that, just at camp this year, it was our largest camp ever, and we have basically the first 4 days of camp are just a crash course in the abortion industry, fetal development, the history of abortion. I mean, you name it, we are going over it with these youth. And they are so eager to learn, and they are amazed. But I think what's most interesting is that once you tell them that, it's common sense. They think of it as common sense. We understand that. We understand, okay, it's a baby, the baby's forming in the womb. It makes sense logically why abortion is wrong, why it hurts the woman. And these youth are totally accepting of the message, and they're ready to be active in their community. And that's what's so great about camp is, as Kristina said, these youth are, we are active on a daily basis by living a life that is constantly promoting life, but also being active in, not just sidewalk counseling, but also hosting events, doing campus outreach, educating others about abortion.
Mm-hmm. And how long is the camp, and where is it located at?
Camp is 2 weeks long in LA. It's during the summer. So this year, camp is going to be August 8th through 19th, 2011. Okay. And it's always in LA. We do several days of training, classroom training, and then during camp, for a week or a little over a week, we hit the streets of LA. So we take the training out of the classroom, and then we are physically in the culture. So we go to Venice Beach, we go to Huntington Beach, we go sidewalk counseling, we go to Hollywood Boulevard, and we set up outreach. We have educational displays, and we invite the people from the culture to come, and from those places to come and dialogue with us and open up this issue about abortion.
And is it high school, college, or both?
Both.
Both, okay.
As young as 13, and I think some of the oldest we have been about 28.
And for parents out there who might be a little concerned about this, you described some of the streets that some would say is a type of Sodom and Gomorrah. Venice Beach, Huntington Beach, Hollywood Boulevard. Whoa. Yeah. Send my teenager to Hollywood Boulevard. I don't know about this. I'm assuming, and can you put some of these that you, I'm sure, have great parental protection and care, armed guards, martial arts trained guys like Daniel here.
Basically, we send Daniel out in front of everybody. As Timmerie said, this last camp. As Timmerie said, this last camp was our biggest camp ever, over 80 participants. And so we did need a lot of supervision, but we equip the students themselves before we hit the streets. Right. We talk to them about safety. We talk to them about legal protection. We talk to them about how to conduct yourselves, how to identify a potentially heated situation and how to get out of it if you need to. And we have trained leaders kind of watching over different groups of people. It's very controlled.
Good.
And then when they're on the streets, it's miraculous how much God will protect us when we're doing His work. This past camp on Hollywood Boulevard, I had the opportunity. You would think, Hollywood Boulevard, it gets so heated, and it did get heated. But at the same time, we were able to pray with people on Hollywood Boulevard. I met someone who was post-abortive, and we walked down Hollywood Boulevard over the stars, and he revealed to me, he was post-abortive. He was very traumatized by what he was experiencing and this knowledge. And I was just able to lay my hand on his shoulder, and we were able to pray for healing for him with all of these people walking around us on Hollywood Boulevard taking pictures of the stars. Yeah.
Wow, that's something, we see the stars and we saw this, Good for you.
That's not it, though. It isn't just, people who are post-abortive. We have women who come up to us and, wow, I'm pregnant, I'm not really sure. And we counsel them there on Hollywood Boulevard at Venice Beach. We've had the last 2 years when we were at Laguna Beach, we had two people come up to us this last camp who said they had actually seen us the year before out in Laguna Beach. They were driving by and they saw our signs and us talking to people, and just seeing us out there with the signs, the woman chose life for her child, and the child was like 7 months old. It was incredible. And we have that happen to us all the time.
And that's the thing is, work like this, you never know. And Father, you know this too. You're preaching a homily. You don't know who it impacts. You're out there sidewalk counseling, you give a talk, whatever. You don't know what God does with that. But we just have to have the courage, ladies and gentlemen, to say yes, to be unafraid to get out there and be involved. Pray deeply and then act strongly. Get out there. Deep prayer and heroic action. We got to run to a break. We'll be back. One more segment. We're going to get into some legal issues that you guys have been through lately here in Alabama, and that'll be exciting. So don't go away. Be back with Survivors right after this. Hi, everybody, you're back. A Life on the Rock here in the Rock House with survivors. I'm Doug Barry, along with Father Anthony. Father Mark, again, is gone on recon mission in Spain for World Youth Day. But we have a great interview going here tonight with you guys. This is fantastic stuff because it is so needed, so necessary. This isn't just sitting on the couch with a bag of chips, just kind of enjoying life, watching it go by, which, granted that those moments are fine once in a while. I enjoy myself. But we got to be active. We got to be doing things. God put us in this world not just to be bumps on logs or couch potatoes or any other sort of vegetative sort of thing that doesn't do anything you can think of. But we're called to be active and be part of this world and fight for truth in this world. And this is one of the most key areas. In my opinion, we got four major fangs, diabolical fangs that are tearing our society apart: abortion, divorce, pornography, birth control. Contraception, birth control. These things are undermining and destroying so much in so many ways. But God can heal all of this. And each and every one of us who may have in any way, shape, or form been involved in any of these sorts of things, God can heal if our hearts are open. All right, you guys are unafraid to get out there and really mix it up, which is necessary. And the pro-life movement's been known for years to be this way. Operation Rescue, of course, has done this sort of stuff. And a lot of people walk for life, out there. We get the protesters, the march in D.C. You get the protesters. And I've been into some of those great debates with them. And you hit them with certain questions, and the draw drops open and drops down, and they don't know what to say. But you're dealing with police.
Yeah, we
Okay.
do.
Tell us a little bit about this. Back in February of 2009, there was an arrest, and 9 of you were taken into custody.
Yeah, so Survivors hosts campus life tours twice a year, once in the fall and once in the spring. And we take the college school year, so we take a semester, and we go to different college campuses and high school campuses, and usually public campuses, and we just set up right in the public square in the campus. And we bring our displays, and we invite the students and sometimes faculty to dialogue with us and see if we can draw the line between the fetus and human life and tell them this is a baby and that abortion is wrong, because no matter what they're hearing in the classrooms, what they're seeing on TV, abortion is wrong, and there is help for them if they are facing an unplanned pregnancy or a post-abortive.
And everything you're talking about is protected
Yes.
under the First Amendment, freedom of speech.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's why we try to stick to public campuses, because they're paid for by taxpayer dollars. It's public property, and we, under the First Amendment, are protected to exercise our free speech activities, which include praying and doing outreach.
And you do this all over the country?
Absolutely, all over the country.
Do you have to be invited in, or?
If it's a public campus, we
You
do
can
not
just
have to
pick it and go.
We can just go, yeah.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah. So in February of 2009, the Spring Campus Life team was in Birmingham. They had done outreach at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, and then they were doing outreach on the public sidewalk in front of Parker High School. And as they were doing outreach, I guess one of the administrators had called Birmingham City Police. Birmingham City Police showed up, a dozen cop cars for 9 peaceful pro-life activists on the public sidewalk, and the entire team was.
And what were the ages of these pro-life activists?
18 to 28, yeah. 18 to 30.
Pretty dangerous group of people.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Their literature.
Their literature.
Yeah, it was literature. Yeah.
Yeah.
Packing some pretty serious, armament there. So a dozen cars come whipping in, sirens on and everything, or it was just kind of
it was just a mess. It was a mess. Yeah, and they took him into custody right away. So our team of 9 people spent 14 hours in jail, and the police did not tell them what they were being charged with. So that was, already an unlawful arrest, aside from the fact that they weren't breaking any laws. And so after 14 hours, they tried to charge them with trespassing. That wouldn't stick because they were on public property. So they charged them with violating a parade ordinance, saying that if you have up to maybe 7 people on a sidewalk, that you need to pay the city for a permit to hold a parade. Amazingly enough, that same law was used to jail Martin Luther King during the civil rights movement. So you can already kind of see the parallels between the pro-life movement and the civil rights movement.
And you weren't in this particular group. You were in another arrest yourself.
Yes. So as a part of our legal battle following that arrest, we filed for an injunction with the city to hold an event in Birmingham later and say, look, this is how it's supposed to go. We're not supposed to get arrested because we're exercising our right to free speech. So another team member and I came back to Birmingham in July of 2010. And we went to the Freedom Rides, and then we had our own event at UAB. We went back to UAB. We were exercising our free speech activity. Within 10 minutes, the UAB police were called again, and they arrested Bud and myself for trespassing. They wanted to charge us with trespassing on public property.
But this was within 10 minutes of you getting there?
Yeah, absolutely.
On public property. But they couldn't find a jail to put you in, right?
No, because of our legal injunction related to the 2009 events, they could not book, or they could not take Bud and myself into custody because they would have been breaking the law. Birmingham City Police was afraid to take us. They would not let us into the jail. So we sat in the cop cars for about 3 hours and, just prayed our way through it. And finally UAB just had to say, we're really sorry, we can't jail you, so we're going to have to let you go.
We're sorry we can't jail you. We apologize for not being able to throw you in jail, but we're going to have to let you go. Now, while you were in the police car, you were talking to him about freedom of speech? Or
yeah, so we
And what did you end up doing?
And before we go on tour, we encounter a lot of opposition. People don't want to believe that this is part of our free speech right. And so we know the laws. Before we go on campuses, we are very aware of the laws under which we can operate. And so while I was in the car, I was asking the officer, does UAB have a free speech area? Do you have a free speech policy? Is there an area where we can exercise our right to free speech? And of course, no, I don't know, I don't think so. And then finally I was just like, okay, well, I haven't prayed my rosary today. Do you mind if I go ahead and do that right now? And he was like, okay, that's fine. And so I mean, obviously they had taken everything from me, so I used my fingers behind my back, and I just started praying the rosary. And I just prayed. I remember it was almost like I had a tube hooked up to my brain through the Holy Spirit, because I started praying for him, for the police, for society, for our president. I can't even remember everything I said. And it was just this loaded prayer that came out for my intentions for my rosary, and he just was silent. He couldn't say anything anymore. He just drove in silence to the UAB annex, and I just started praying Our Father.
And everything's recorded at the time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thankfully our lawyers got on that right away. They were able to get us released. And
but the jail that like the first 9 were in is the same jail Martin Luther was in.
They sat in Birmingham City Jail where Martin Luther was, for violating the same.
Isn't this kind of eerie, Father? Some of this.
It's amazing to draw the parallel between the pro-life movement and the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
We are standing up for truth, and the evil one does not want us to stand for truth. But we are still called to do it. We have an obligation to stand up for the preborn. We have an obligation to defend their right to life. And they have no voice. We are their voices. It's our generation's obligation to fight for them. And if we give up that right by relinquishing our rights to free speech, then they will be led to the slaughter, and nobody will be speaking on their behalf.
Daniel, very good, very well said. Daniel, what would you say? We've just got a few minutes left, and I want to get some closing comments from you and Timmerie as well. Yeah. What would you say to men, other men out there?
I would encourage men to get out there and be a part of the woman's life and be, a man, what we're supposed to be that God is calling us to. And I encourage them to go and take care of the woman and love them and be what we're supposed to be, loving men here to stand for women and the child. No matter if they're brother, sister, wife, girlfriend, whoever, just be out there and take care of them, love them, and do whatever we can for them, what we're supposed to as men.
Right. Yeah. And doesn't that even start with, as a father, I have 5 children, I have 7, 2 in heaven and 5 on earth. And as a father, my job to train and form their minds and their hearts by talking to my daughter and my sons about their dignity, about God's order between man and woman and the creation of life, intimacy and all this. I have the obligation as the dad to be the first teacher when it comes to this, to teach my boys what it is to be a true man in the areas of how they treat a woman in all respects, in all ways, so that ladies don't have to fall into this mentality that the world throws out there, that you're objects and you need to be looked at as an object, judged, gauged, and what have you, like cattle on a stage. It's ridiculous. So we men got to be fighting not just on the pro-life line. We've got to be in the homes daily with our families, teaching, loving, mentoring, shaping, and forming.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Timmerie, closing thoughts to the world, the millions of people watching and listening right now.
I especially want to challenge young people to be involved. Survivors is one area where you can be involved. I know the information is out there. Our website, survivors.la. We are on Facebook, actively on Facebook, constantly giving areas where you can be involved and stay up to date in the pro-life movement. And I challenge everyone, especially young people watching today, to please get involved. All it takes is saying yes, praying that first rosary in front of the abortion clinic, and educating yourself to defend your pro-life stance.
I would say in closing this, you guys are showing that this is something, we say yes to this, ladies and gentlemen, we become part of something, we realize that we are part of something much bigger than ourselves. And it's not just in the pro-life area of the battle, because we have these other areas that we have to deal with that are really, really devastating our society. But this is one of the key ones. Be part of something bigger than yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Get off the couch, come out of the shell, and let's be part of it in whatever way, shape, and form God calls us to. Say yes. That's the beginning of it. You guys did a great job. Thanks for being on the show. Really appreciate it. Keep up your great work. You'll be in our prayers. And we'll hope to hear from you again and report back here on Life on the Rock. Absolutely. Father, can you take us out with a priestly blessing for the world?
Lord bless you and keep you, show his face to you and be merciful to you, turn his countenance to you and give you peace. May Almighty God bless you, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
Great. All right.